What's going on, Bailey? Make a little quick set of notes for you. These three problems kind of represent any problem you'll see in that last section, solving for angles. You might be using a calculator a little bit different than mine, but the keys are pretty much the same. So first thing you need to do is, they give you two sides of the triangle, and you're trying to find one of the angles. So the first thing I would do is put your guy on the unmarked angle. That's the one that we're looking for. And now we need to label our sides. So remember, across from the 90 is always going to be the hypotenuse. And then across from your guy is always going to be the opposite. So now we need to choose the right ratio. And, we're going to use SOHCAHTOA for that. And so since this one is opposite and hypotenuse, that's the sine. So the sine of I don't know is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. And now it's pretty easy. Whenever you want to work backwards to figure out what this angle is, you're going to need to use the inverse button. So the inverse button is, what you're going to do is you're going to punch in inverse sine, or a second sine when you're using your calculator, inverse sine, and then just write this as a division problem in parentheses, 53 divided by 60. And so I'm going to use a calculator over here to the right. So on my calculator, I'm going to use second and then hit sine, because right above it is sine -1. So that's the inverse. And then 53 divided by 60 equals, now I get an answer of 62.0471 blah, 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 blah. Well, on Khan Academy, you have to round correctly to the nearest hundredth. So that means we need to keep 2 decimal places, but you can't just cut it off at the 4, because the next one, the third place, tells me what to do. And since that's bigger, if it's 5 or bigger, you need to round up. So your final answer in Khan is going to be 62.05. And I'm pretty sure that if you put 62.04, it'll mark it wrong for rounding. So make sure that you're rounding to 2 decimal places and using that third place. All right, let's take a peek with number 2. I'll kind of do this one because it's a little bit different. Not a ton, but a little bit. So on number 2, I put my guy at the angle that we're looking for. We're looking for this angle. The two sides that we have the hypotenuse. And now we don't have the opposite side, but we have the adjacent side. So I can't use sine, because sine is opposite in hypotenuse. So we need to use cosine. So the cosine of I don't know is adjacent over hypotenuse. And then I solve it the same way. I'm going to do the inverse cosine of 25 divided by 35. We'll see what we get. Second cos 25 divided by 35. And I'm getting 44.1 or 0.415. So that 5 right there, again, if it's 5 or larger, we need to round up. So our final answer is going to be 44.42. I don't think you have to worry about the degree symbol in Khan. We'll do one more. Hopefully you kind of have the hang of it from this. I'm showing you all the 3 possibilities that can happen. So same thing, I'm going to go on here. I put my guy on the angle that we're looking for. This one I have the opposite. Notice I do not have the hypotenuse. So I'm going to be using opposite and adjacent. And that's going to be tangent. So the tangent of I don't know is opposite over adjacent. And then we're going to do the inverse tan. You always got to use the inverse when you want to find the angle measure. And that should be 38 divided by 42. So second tan 38 divided by 42. Oop, that's 4, 2. And we're getting 42.137. Again, that 7 tells me to round it up. So 42.14. All right, well, hopefully this quick little video helps you finish that last section of Khan, and then you'll be all set. Give me a holler, give me an email or something if you need some more help. See you.